Welcome to Strachan House. Strachan House is a converted warehouse, 3-story building that has 83 individual units and 5 emergency shelter beds. The purpose of Strachan House is to house the most marginalized and vulnerable individuals in the city of Toronto. This is L House, and our building is divided up A house through L house, and each house consists of anywhere from 5 to 7 individual units. With shared kitchens and shared bathrooms. Increasingly, Strachan House over the last, I would say 5 years, has evolved out of system necessity to serve a client population that is largely unserved in our city. So what I mean by that is that there are many individuals that are living on the streets or that are living long-term in our emergency-style shelters because there is not enough housing that exists that meet the level of supports that are required for them to maintain a home. And so we have had to evolve our program to serve those individuals because they have no other options. Their options are to be institutionalized or to stay in emergency style shelters for the remainder of their life. If we continue to walk down this way, you can see we have, I'm not sure if you can see that, but you can see that we have a patio area. Part of the importance of this program for us is that it's meant to be a community within a community. We try and engage as much as possible in this program to have residents' input into what happens into this building. And we try and utilize our space as much as possible. We do community barbecues as much as we can. We try and do other events. We have annual events, talent shows, other types of things that just kind of bring people together, make them feel part of the community, give them an opportunity to engage with other people and build relationships, which improves their overall mental health.
I feel like we're a big family in here. Some we like, some we don't like, same as a family. I find there's a lot of people with different issues like mental and physical, and there's different organizations that come and like I believe it's Focus. There's a gentleman, John, that comes here and looks after some of the people. So, you know, like at least I feel good watching that because these people are very mentally handicapped like I am. And at least they got supports out there. And it's nice to see that somebody's coming in and doing that. For me, anyways. That's my thought.
ACT team stands for Assertive Community Treatment Team, and several ACT teams I know come to Strachan House in addition to ours. And I think that one of the important things about a place like Strachan House is that the Strachan residents and staff often need extra support in order to help people maintain their housing of a variety of kind. And the advantage to the ACT team, I think, is that it's a 7-day-a-week operation. And some people need a high level of support in order to maintain their housing. And so that's what we're here for, us and the other ACT teams.
This place just basically accommodates to the hardest to house client. And it just offers various levels of support for our clients in various areas of their lives, from basic needs to maybe helping them do their laundry, going to the bank, going and coordinating a medical appointment, helping them with their legal issues, just having a friend or having someone to talk to. So just a lot of the stuff that you and I would take for granted, a lot of the clientele, that's what they need. They need everyday support.
As part of our evolution at Strachan House, we've had to identify existing barriers and try and build in specialty supports to meet those needs of the individuals. One of those specialty supports is in the area of hoarding, pest control, housekeeping, and overall hygiene.
Our goal isn't to put them back on the street, it's to help them improve their life skills, because most of them don't even have that because they're coming from the streets or they're coming from the hospital, so they don't have everyday living skills, right? So it's kind of to get them integrated back into a communal setting, to get them back into the community and transitioning them into housing and kind of getting them set up into everyday living. So it's basically helping them kind of organize, declutter, preventing eviction is one of the biggest things that I do. Setting up extreme cleans, setting up one-to-one meetings once a week or twice a week or however much appointments they may need in order to kind of meet their goal.
As we've evolved and as we've taken on complex clients and people that have had a lot of difficulty maintaining housing in other places, I think the programs that we've developed over the years have been necessary, particularly with the program of this size. I mean, we have 83 rooms here and we have a small shelter component, and as I mentioned, people have the right to have guests. So any given night, we have more than 100 people in here with 100 different needs and 100 different issues. This is a challenge every day and every night, but only by figuring these things out as we go along, can we deal with these issues that could cost somebody some housing in another setting.
Roland, when he first came on, we were told that he wouldn't be able to toilet himself, he wouldn't be able to bathe himself, he basically wouldn't be able to do anything for himself. And he's been someone I've worked with since he's gotten here, and it's a complete turnaround. He does everything on his own. Roland's doing better here because he has the one-to-one support. He has, we've built a great relationship. I've really gotten to know what it is he enjoys doing, what he doesn't enjoy doing, kind of what his trigger points are. And just seeing his whole transition from when he first came here to now, he feels better about himself, so it makes me feel better.
My actual living here has been good. It's been really, really good. It's been, Christine has made me feel good today. She had made me joyful. She had made me happy. She didn't put me down, but she has made me equal to the point that I like the way she's been treating me. She has made me equal.
The magic of Strachan House, I think, is that they're able to help people transition some of those survival strategies, sometimes over a long period of time, years and years, into a more functional indoor living arrangement, which is it's a hard thing to achieve, but that's one of the big strengths of Strachan House, I think.
I've been living here since 1996. Well, it's given me more of a relaxed familyhood kind of living, where everyone shows responsibility to one another in the most mannered and common ways. And under any circumstances, we never lose our own residential, how would I say, livinghood. We hold ourselves together within the grounds just like a normal apartment.
Residents have a right to do what they'd like to do in their own unit. So therefore, residents can have guests here, residents can have pets here, residents can choose to do whatever they like in their own unit. When we consider the common space in the building, we consider that to be shelter space, and therefore we regulate with input from the residents what happens in this building. For example, we have guest rules in this building, and those guest rules were originally made up in cooperation with the residents. The idea was that the residents see this as their home, and they want to ensure that anybody that comes into this building is doing so and in a safe manner, and that they're not putting other residents at jeopardy. So this is F House, and as you can see, we have a lot of activity going on here with respect to utilizing the common space, and that depends on what individuals are typically living in a certain area at any given time. And a lot of the plants and the decorating that you'll see come from the residents, and in particular 1 or 2 residents in this area.
We have some of our original tenants here, and people that moved into Strachan House when they're in their middle age, maybe in their late 30s or 40s, and they're now senior citizens. We have people that are applying for their pensions, people that are in their late 60s and their 70s. One of the challenges we have here with the lack of alternative housings and not a lot of beds in long-term care is that we're learning how to support seniors, people with those needs, people with the physical needs of aging, people with the cognitive needs of aging. It's a whole different skill set that we're learning. I think this is a problem in housing and the shelter system throughout Ontario. Every meeting I go to, I think this is the first thing people talk about.
Hello.
Hi, Bev. How are you?
I'm fine, Jamie.
Do you mind if we come in and talk to you a little bit?
No.
This is Bev's unit. And Bev has come to us from Savard's, one of our other locations, which is an emergency style shelter. And we were able to provide a room and a home for Bev here at Strachan House. What's happened is our aging population are living below a level that they should be. The last years of their lives are not as optimal as they should be. And the system is struggling to try and figure out how to fix that. And so to go back and talk about the housing first approach, it's important to know that there are many different, there has to be a number of different options that exist along the spectrum to ending homelessness. So scattered site models with or without supports, we need those. There are many individuals that need affordable housing and need different levels of support and can maintain on their own with that support and affordability. But there also are a lot of individuals in our system that are not successful at that. And even though they've tried it a number of times, have not been successful. So they need a higher level of support. And that's what we try to do here.
What we would like to see as a team is a lot more Strachan houses throughout the city. Maybe some in the west end, east, south, north end of the city, where not only would it help our team, but also help other teams as well.
Our population of really complex individuals is close to 80% of our population here now. And the plan is likely to have it at 100% because we are one of the few programs that can meet that challenge. In an ideal world, we'll be able to add another program or other programs of similar models that address this specific type of individual who are the most vulnerable and most marginalized individuals in our city.
If I could broadcast this message to you that I'm a Christian and I believe in God and I believe in the favor, but there was friends that were pushing religion down on my face, and I didn't like that. And that's when it started my schizophrenia, because I was hearing voices and everything. I was hearing voices, and I was having medical problems after medical problems after medical problems. And then all of a sudden, I didn't really like myself.
As we've evolved and as we've taken on complex clients and people that have had a lot of difficulty maintaining housing in other places, I think the programs that we've developed over the years have been necessary. And it's just the totality of the programs, the food program plus the partnerships with doctors and harm reduction workers and assertive community treatment teams, our excellent ongoing relationship with the police, with financial services, with the Ontario Public Guardian Trustee, plus the tolerance level of the staff and their presence here 24 hours a day, 365, makes it a pretty unusual program.
You have Second Harvest, you have Fresh Start, you have many volunteer companies coming with their cafeteria party, secondhand leftover clothing and food. It's very good. You have the community.
This particular area that we're in is a bustling neighborhood now. When we first started here, there was nothing around us, but that's not the case. And we want to be part of the community. We want to contribute to the community. We want to have the community understand the work we do and participate. So when all the condos and stuff started going up around this area, we were presented with a number of community issues. And we found that going out and speaking to people, participating, we started to participate in some resident meetings and board meetings and condo board meetings, and expressing and explaining the type of individuals that we serve, the type of complex issues that they're dealing with, and as well as reminding individuals that These individuals are part of our community. They live here, whether we house them or not. So unsupported, the issues in the community are much more profound and negative. But with support, with a home, with food, with help accessing funds, the likelihood of negative activities in our neighborhood, in our community, is decreased substantially. And what we found is that obviously, although we do have issues in our community still from time to time, a majority of the individuals in our community are supportive.
I kind of made the connection that all the people that I saw in the neighborhood that were sort of on the streets or homeless were actually coming back here. So there was a really important connection that was made for me, where I realized that this is where they were coming to, survive the winter and this is a very key part of the community that a lot of people don't see. To be in this situation is a universal issue. It could happen to anyone. It depends on things like what happens in your life, where you start from, what kind of health and mental health issues you're in. And really, our lives are these fragile structures that any kind of turn of events that could happen, unfortunate, could result in these circumstances. So people who have to take advantage of these circumstances are just like you and me. And so it's as simple as doing something nice for someone else. That's what community is. It's about supporting each other. And I think the question about, why should we get involved suggests that this is the community and this is some fringe thing. But to me, this is the community. This is, the best example of how well we're doing as a community, is whether we are taking care for those who are less fortunate, or those who need that support.
Strachan House houses about 12 of our clients. And without Strachan House, I would say about 12 clients, those 12 clients would be on the street.
The real successes for us, anyways, especially at Strachan House, are being able to provide a home when an individual who hasn't had a home in 10 or 15 years is able to say, I feel like I have a home, I feel supported, I feel safe, I have meals, I have friends. That's a success for us.
I'm a human being, and I like to be treated like a human being.
I think that this model and other innovative models are what we need along that spectrum to finally end homelessness.
I've been